Hey, so today I'm going to talk a bit about how you can use AI to build a high performing sales team. So these days, a typical sales team probably spends about 10% of their time actually selling. And by selling, I mean speaking to customers, really working deeply on customer ideas, understanding their problems. The rest of the time is all spent on administration. It's actually spent on very low value tasks like just trying to find the right content, trying to find the most recent contract you use, trying to find the right person to speak to within your organization. All of those types of things really hold people back. But what is if there was a different way where you could really flip it and you're spending 90% of your time instead of 10%, and you're well prepared for every conversation, and it's also really easy to take the actions. Your conversations with customers are engaging. It's on point. You don't need to bring an expert into every call that you have. There's quite a few ways that we can use tools to tackle this these days, and I'm going to give you 3 ideas today to get started. So the first idea is simply finding content. So many organizations have a wealth of IP, but it's all trapped. It's trapped in so many different places. It's on people's computers. It's trapped in emails. It's trapped in SharePoint drives. It's trapped in knowledge repositories, Confluence, wikis. All of that. Often organizations they've made an attempt to move it into some kind of central knowledge repository, even made a mechanism where it's easy for you to contribute to it. Even if everybody did that, which they don't, even if they did, it's still really hard to find the right content because it may just be worded in a different way to what you're searching for. And then also the answer that you have or answer that you're looking for is actually spread across multiple documents. So what AI does now, this new tech allows you to very easily get a summary answer of any question that you're asking. So if you're asking what solutions do we have for reducing handling time within a contact center, that is actually buried across all sorts of different offerings around training, around tools, around skill set. And the best answer might be dated 3 years ago, where somebody had a fantastic point of view on that. But it's impossible to find, let alone finding it outside of that knowledge repository in things like SharePoint folders and Confluence and all of that. These tools allow you to just get a simple answer where you ask that, and you'll be able to see all the answers in a very neat, almost summary, where it's saying, hey, this is one idea of how to do it. Here's another idea, and here's another idea. And that's all come from different sources. And it cites the underlying source. So you're very easily able to find the underlying source. The great thing about this is new tools allow us to kind of have trusted and unverified sources as well. So you may have an official point of view, and that might have a little star next to it saying this is our official content. But then somebody might have actually created their own spin on it for a specific geography or a specific industry, and that's unverified but still very helpful, and the person may end up using it. The second way is one that I use all the time, and that's to really understand our client deeply. Unfortunately, in sales, often we really waste our interactions with our customers and prospects. We waste it trying to just get a base level understanding of their industry and their core drivers and potentially industry problems. But what if you could use those interactions really to just deeply understand their specific problems without first needing to ground yourself in understanding their industry? Tools like ChatGPT are amazing for this. So if you had a potential prospect that was in the financial planning and wealth management industry, you could simply ask it, look, I don't know anything about this industry. Can you explain it to me as if I know nothing about it? And it'll do that. You can then start asking it all the questions like, what are the industry trends at the moment? What has changed? What are the typical problems the industry is facing at the moment? And then if the customer is a listed company, you could even upload their annual report or even ingest their website with other tools and then start asking specific questions about them and saying, I sell AI services to help build high-performing business functions. Have a look at this annual report. What can you tell me about that? And it will say something like, well, it doesn't seem that it seems like their expenses are growing faster than their revenue. Maybe they have a sales performance problem, or maybe they have a contact center performance problem. And those types of things can really help with that. So the third thing is one that I honestly don't see many people using this, but I think it's one of the most powerful ways to use these tools, and that's to actually help prepare your pitch and help to prepare for often the final parts of a presentation. Now, this is obviously much more for B2B sales. These are longer, more complex sales cycles, but you can really use these tools in very creative ways to get ready for your final pitch. So one of the ways that I use it is you can actually upload your proposal and ask it to ask you some tough questions. So you give it a bit about who the buyer is, about who the customer is, who the personality type of the buyer, or of procurement, or of the CFO. There's somebody that is these things are very important to them, and then you tell them, can you ask me 15 very difficult questions that they may ask me based on this, and it will do that. Another step you can do is literally upload an architecture artifact and say, hey, I'm presenting to an architecture forum on this. Can you critique this and ask me some difficult questions? And it will sometimes ask you things that are obvious in hindsight, but your whole deal team just hasn't thought of it. It may be something like security, something like data residency, but it's just something that somebody didn't think about. And then you can even take it a step further and simulate the whole conversation. So you can say, can you simulate our conversation? And then we'll critique it afterwards. And it will do all of those interactions. And with a critique, you can also tell it the type of sales methodology that you use, or how you'd like it critiqued. So I'm a big Chris Voss fan from Never Split the Difference. I'll ask it, critique it as if Chris Voss was monitoring me, and it will actually suggest different ways I could have phrased different questions, handled objections, and you could do the same with whatever methodology you use, be it Spin, Franklin Covey, Miller Hyman. You can put all of those things in. So I hope you found that helpful. Those are just 3 ideas of how to get started. There's another 7 I'm going to be going through. I'll also put the link to the masterclass that we ran last year. And then I'll also be hosting another one later this month. So please just register your interest there. These are great tools, and I really recommend you start using them today. They can make a lot of difference, and they can really be the key enabler to taking your whole capability to the next level. My name's David Nord. Chat soon.